Good morning to all. I welcome you all to the next class on industrial management. In this class, we'll be continuing Unit 5. Unit 5 basically consists of two important aspects. One is the plant maintenance, the other one is plant safety. We discussed the plant maintenance in our previous class. In this class, we'll start with plant safety. Safety is an important consideration in any industry. Safety always comes first. There cannot be any compromise with respect to the safety. Safety has to be an integral part of the training for any work, because that's the most critical aspect in the industrial working. Let us discuss more about the safety in this class. Well, friends, so we are discussing the Unit 5 that consists of two aspects, that is plant maintenance and industrial safety. We'll be discussing the industrial safety in two classes. In this class, we'll be discussing the what is safety, what is accident, what are the effect of the accident on different stakeholders, and what are the safety provisions to prevent the accidents in the industries. We'll discuss these things. And in the next class, we'll be discussing exclusively on the fire safety. What are the different classes of fire? What are the different fire extinguishers? How safety can be ensured against the fire accidents. Now let's have a quick overview of what we intend to cover in today's class. We'll be starting our discussion with the concept of accident and safety. We'll see what is accident and what is safety. Then we'll be moving on to discuss the different losses due to the accident and their effect on both employers as well as the employees. Then we'll continue our discussion with the causes of accidents, and along with that we'll also discuss what are the different safety measures that can be taken to prevent the accidents. Towards the end, we'll be discussing the role of the supervisor, the role of safety engineer, the role of safety committee with respect to the prevention of the accidents. And later, we'll have an interactive quiz where you can select your questions and provide the answers. Well, friends, now let us see what is an accident. The accident is nothing but a destructive occurrence. That means something destructive happens which interferes with the orderly progress of the activity. That is, when the activity is going on in the industry, if something destructive occurs that interferes with the orderly progress, we can call it as an accident. Another way of looking at accident is the accident is a mishap. That means an unwanted happening that results in some sort of the injury to the workers or some damage to the machines or both. Usually the accident is coupled with the injury to the workers as well as damage to the machines. Now, let us discuss some of the common myths people have with respect to the accidents. Myths are the common beliefs which people have, but that is not true. The media, the public discourse has put a lot of myths in our minds, and we believe them even if they are true. So this creates an illusion of truth. So let us see some of the common myths that are associated with the accident. One is, what will people say is that the accident happens accidentally. In that statement, the basic assumption is that accident will happen whatever we do. Indirectly, what does it mean is that the causes of accidents are beyond human control. But that is not the truth. The truth is that accidents just don't happen by themselves. There are specific underlying causes to the accident. That means each and every accident does not take place on its own. It is caused by specific the reasons behind the accident. And the statistics show that the 98% of the accidents can be prevented if we take suitable safety measures. So the accident doesn't happen accidentally. It happens because of definite specific underlying reasons. Let us come to another myth. This myth says that we don't have accidents. Say some companies claim we don't have the accidents. That again is not the realistic claim, because for every accidents, for every major accidents, there are more than 10 the minor accidents. The accidents can be classified into different types. One may be a near miss. That means nothing has happened, but there is every chance of an accident. Then we have trivial accidents, very minor accidents. Then we have got minor accidents. We have major accidents. We have fatal accidents. Usually what is recorded is the major accidents and fatal accidents. Minor accidents are not recorded and ignored, but every minor accident has a potential of becoming a major or fatal accident. So if somebody claims that we don't have accident, it is not, again, not exactly the truth. There are many minor accidents, trivial accidents, and near misses, even if they are not reported. Another myth is that the accident is expensive. Accident is the costly. It is something like this. People say, if education is costly, try ignorance. That is, the education may be costly, but at the same time, it is always not as costly as the ignorance. Similarly, the safety may be expensive, but it is never as costly as an accident. That is, the cost of accident is much more than the cost of maintaining safety. That is, the accidents cost more than the cost involved in maintaining safety. Coming to another myth, people say the insurance will pay. We don't have to worry about accidents. We have got insurance. The insurance will pay the cost of the accidents. That again is not the truth, because the cost of accident is not a single one. It is a multifaceted accidents. The cost. There are physical costs. There are emotional costs. There are social costs. There are psychological costs, in addition to the economic cost. So economic cost is not the only thing that is involved in the accident. So that finally the insurance company may bear a part of the economic losses only. All the other things the persons and the company will have to bear. So it is not the question of insurance paying the cost. And finally, one more myth. What does it say is that the accident is a simple common sense. The truth is that common sense is not common. Even if we assume that common sense is common, the accident prevention is not common sense. Accident prevention involves meticulous planning, systematic work procedures, elaborate training, and a proper attitude. All these things are intertwined in the accident prevention. We cannot say that accident is the common sense. Accident prevention is common sense. No, it involves all these things in a systematic way. Well, friends, we have seen some of the costs, some of the things which are associated with some of the myths which are associated with the accidents. Now, the cost of accident is the multifaceted. The accident affects each and every person in the organization. There are a number of direct losses. There are a number of indirect losses. There is in addition, the accident affects each and every person. It affects the owner or the employer of the organization. It affects the workers as well as the employees of the organization. In a way, it also affects the machines, the equipments, and the condition of the machines and equipments. Now let us go on to discuss the losses due to the accidents. Losses can be broadly classified as the direct losses and indirect losses. Let us see what are these direct losses and what are these indirect losses. We say the everything that can be counted does not count, and everything that counts cannot be counted. So some losses due to the accident can be exactly counted, but some losses cannot be counted. Coming to the direct losses, this is a loss which can be directly counted in terms of money. We can exactly say this is the cost of this accident in terms of money. We call it as the direct losses. The direct losses may be the compensation which the company pays in lump sum to the worker. That can be directly measured in terms of the money. Similarly, the medical expenditures, the hospital bill, and related expenditure is something which is directly measurable in terms of the money. But there are also many losses which are not directly measurable in terms of money. We call it as the indirect losses. For example, we say the time is money. Of course, time is money, but how much time is how much money? So quantifying the time money aspect of each and every person is not possible in an organization. So the loss of time of the injured person contribute to the losses which will come under the indirect losses for the company. Similarly, the supervisor is a very important the person in the organization coordinating all the activities on the shop floor. He's a direct link between the management and the workers. He's occupied with a lot of critical functions, but whenever the accident takes place, the work goes to the background. He has to concentrate on the works which are related to the accident. That means he will spend a lot of time in assisting the worker and giving the first aid and necessary support, maybe even taking him to the hospital if necessary because of the accident. That is about assisting the worker who has met or is injured because of the accident. Now, if the injured person is unable to resume his work, supervisor have got the additional duty of making alternative arrangements. That means now he has to find somebody else or some other means of getting the work done which the operator who is injured was doing it. That again will consume a lot of time of the supervisor. Finally, whenever accident happens, immediately management will ask for an accident report. What happened about accident? That will be some sort of a postmortem about what happened and why it happened. All those things have to be investigated, and the supervisor will have to make an accident report. That again will take a considerable time of the supervisor. That means all these are the ways in which supervisor's time is spent unproductively because of the accident. That is the indirect cause. In addition to that, the morale of the workers goes down because of the accident. Let me show you an interesting I will show an interesting illustration later about the morale of the workers. Next is a damage due to machine, tools and equipments. That is, before the accident, the tools and machines would have been working more effectively, more efficiently. But after the accident, it may not work. There may be more vibration, there may be more inaccuracies. That is, even the quality of the tools and machines will go down because of the accident. That again is the indirect, the losses due to the accident. So there are a number of direct losses due to the accident. There are a number of indirect losses due to the accident. Now, let us discuss the personal factors which are leading to the accident. The first one is the age. Age is an important consideration in accident. It's usually, all the statistics show that the young people are more likely to meet accidents in industries than older people. The younger people meet more accident. That's what the statistics show. Let me just show an illustration with respect to the road accidents. If you take the age group, the 15 to 24 age group is the group which meets the maximum number of the accidents, road accidents. This is the 0 to 14. They meet minimum because they rarely they drive the vehicles. Then it goes down. That is, if you look, the highest number of accidents are with respect to the young people in 15 to 24, the age group. That is, the age is an important consideration in the accidents. Another important consideration is the experienced. It is generally observed that less experienced people meet more accidents. The more experienced people, less accidents. That means the experience is a big consideration in predicting the possibility of the accidents. Next is the physical condition. The physical condition of the person also affects the accident to a large extent. When I say physical condition, I mean two things. One, there are a number of physical limitations with respect to each and every person. For example, the visual defects. All of us don't have the same eyesight. Some have got this very sharp eyesight, some have got not that sharp. So the eyesight, the improper eyesight may cause the accident. If the work needs very quick reaction. Also, there may be low muscular coordination. If you see that the children, even if they slip, they don't fall. Somehow they manage. The elderly people, they fall when they slip. That is because of the low muscular coordination. That is another the factor with respect to the accident. And another thing about the physical condition is that the condition of that particular day or particular time. If a person is running high fever, if a person is suffering from the headaches or similar the temporary problems, that again will contribute the chances of causing the accident. Another is the mental and emotional environment. When a person is in a proper frame of mind, when a person is in a good mental condition, the chance of accidents are less. The interpersonal relationship within the organization also affects. When the people are in a cordial atmosphere, there is no tension in the workplace, the causes chances of accident less. There is a lot of friction, there is a lot of misunderstanding, there is a lot of arguments and quarrel. Because of that, the people will experience a lot of tension. This mental environment which the person experiences may contribute to the accidents. And then the fatigue is a very important factor causing the accidents. It's a major cause of accident. Fatigue is a mental stress which is experienced by the person due to the monotonous nature of the work. The human beings are not machines. They are prone to fatigue. We cannot do the same type of work day in and day out without the breaks, without the change of work. So the fatigue is a very important consideration in accident. Let me illustrate again fatigue with respect to a road accident. So this is a graph of road accident with respect to the time, if you notice here, there is many of the accidents, road accidents, major in the night. The people continuously drive in the night, then coming towards the morning, they are so fatigued that there are high chances of accidents in the early hours of the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Chances of accidents are very high because of the fatigue. Then morning, the people become fresh, and the chance of accident has come down in the morning. Again, if you notice that by evening, people drive continuously, by evening, again, the chances of the accident goes high because of the fatigue. Again, night people stop, people take rest, the chance of accidents goes down. That is, the continuous, the non-stop work causes fatigue, and this fatigue is a major consideration in causing the accidents. There is a concept what is known as accident proneness. You may notice that a person who meets accident once, he meets many times. A person who does not meet accident, he rarely meets accidents. That is, some people are more prone to accidents and some people are less prone to accident. This is due to a number of the factors related to that particular person. The physical fitness, the mental alertness, his ability to handle tension, his emotional, the stability, all those things, muscular coordination, are all the important factors with respect to the person that makes a person more accident prone or less accident prone. Let us come to let us summarize the factors which we discussed, the responsible for the accident. One thing we discussed was the age. We have seen that the young persons meet more accidents than the older people. Next, we have got the experience. The experienced people meet less accidents compared to less experienced the people. Physical condition like illness, like fever, also the effect accident to a large extent. That is, the possibility of the accident increases with the physical conditions, with the problem with the physical conditions. Then the fatigue is another important factor. Fatigue due to the monotonous nature of the work is a major cause in leading to the accidents. Sometimes the extreme high rate of production may cause accidents because the rate of production, the work speed may be so high that the people may not be able to cope up with that speed of the production. Next, even the atmospheric conditions like the temperature, the ventilation will also lead to accident. We need the proper work atmosphere for preventing accidents. The illumination is another factor with respect to the accident. For example, the daylight is much more comfortable to the eyes, and also that causes less accidents compared to the artificial lights, which are not pleasant, as well as which increases the chances of the accident. The light should not be excessively bright, or it should not be excessively dim also. The excessively bright light, if it falls any shining object, will cause glare formation, and the shadows should be avoided because of that. So these are some of the major factors which are responsible for the accidents. Now let us discuss the effect of the accidents on the employer as well as on the employee. What will happen to the employer if there is an accident, and what will happen to the employee if there is an accident? Obviously, the employer has to pay a large amount in terms of the compensation due to the accidents. There is a direct loss which the employer will have to bear. In addition, the huge production time will be lost because of the accident. That again will result in monetary loss to the employer, because we said the time is money. So loss of time will automatically lead to the loss of the income for the employer. In addition, the employer may have to spend more money for making alternative arrangements if the person is not able to resume the work after the accident, if a very minor, the operator may resume the work, but if it's a major one, he cannot resume the work. So the alternative arrangement have to be made for the work. Then the morale of the workers go down because of the accident. That again will result in a lot of the loss of income to the owner. Just I said I will illustrate the morale with an interesting example. So there was the skydiving, the institute, which was training people for diving using parachutes. What they used to do is the trainees, they used to jump using the parachute in the morning, and afternoon they used to pack the parachutes. This went on for some time, and one afternoon they said, you are going to pack your parachute today, and tomorrow you are using the same parachute for skydiving. Now people are scared, and every day people used to pack the parachute within 1 hour. That day they took more than 4 hours for packing the parachute because they were highly worried if what will happen if it doesn't open tomorrow. That is because of the lower morale, they took far longer time to pack their parachute. Of course, later they realized that the system, the design is so perfect that even if they pack wrongly, it opens. Well, what I was talking is that the morale of the worker is an important consideration in increasing the productivity of the organization. This productivity goes down because of the accident. And every company survives on a brand name. So brand name is very important for promoting the business. The accident will spoil the reputation. It will have a negative effect on the brand name of the organization. These are the effect of the accidents on the employer. Now let us say, is it the employer alone who is affected by the accident? Let's see what will happen to the employee, to the worker in case of the accident. The employee will suffer a loss of income, maybe a part of his regular income, or at least he may not be able to do any overtime work after the accident. That is, some way or the other, the employee will suffer and a loss of income because of the accident. And the employee may have to bear the medical expenditure, or at least part of the medical expenditure. Even if the company gives the direct hospital bill, there are a lot of indirect medical expenditures which the person may have to bear. That again is a loss to the employee. And then there is a pain. You cause a lot of pain to a person and say, I'll give you this much money. Is money a compensation for pain? Definitely not. Suppose somebody hits you, you experience a lot of pain. You hit him back, he will experience pain, but your pain will remain the same. Your pain will not go down. So there is no way we can compensate for the pain which is caused by the workers. And we need to remember that the accident may lead to a death or permanent disablement, which has got very drastic consequences. Suppose imagine a person who is having his hand, and after the accident his hand is cut. He is not able to use his hand. So how does he lead his normal life? Or he loses his vision. Any permanent disablement is a very, very dangerous consequence of an accident. Similarly, the death is a very tragic consequence of the accident. For the unconcerned people, the death may be a simple line in the newspaper or a single visual on TV. But for the people who are concerned with that person, for the family members of the person, he may be the only breadwinner, he may be a parent, he may be a wife, he may be a son. So to the family members, the losses are devastating because of the accident. So these are all the reasons which in which the worker has to be extremely cautious to avoid the accident, because the worker is also affected by the accident in a number of ways. Well, friends, so far we discussed what is an accident. We discussed the causes. We discussed the types of accidents, how the accident affects the employer, how the accident affects the employee. We also discussed the direct and indirect causes of the accidents. Now, let us move on to discuss the causes of accident. Each accident is separate. No two accidents are exactly same. The causes of no two accidents are exactly same. And we also need to remember that each accident is not only unique, each accident has got the multiple causes. The interplay of the multiple causes, causes the accident. But still, these accidents can be grouped under certain categories. That means we can classify the causes of accidents under the categories. Now let us see how do we do it. Coming to the general causes of the accident, one of the cause is that all machines are not very benign. Some of the machines are dangerous machines. If we take the machines as animals, some machines are like the cats and dogs. They don't have the potential to cause the huge damages. Some machines are like the lions and tigers. They have got the potential for causing maximum the damage. So such machines are the boilers, the turbines, the heat exchangers. These are the potentially the dangerous the machines. So these machines can cause a lot of the damage. So one of the possible causes is that some dangerous machines have to be taken proper precaution. Second is unsafe, the physical condition. That means the physical condition within the factory may be unsafe. When I say physical condition, I include a number of things. The absence of the safety guards, or improper illumination, improper ventilation, improper clothing, people wearing the loose or silk clothes, excessive noise which disturbs the concentration, the people, that affects the normal working of the person. All this may lead to the accident. So the unsafe, the physical condition is another group of factors that may lead to the accident. Another, the possible cause is the moving or falling objects. Moving objects are inherently dangerous. That means you have got overhead cranes, you have got overhead trolleys, you have got the moving trolleys. So these trolleys are prone to make more accident compared to any stationary objects. That is, the moving or falling parts cause many of the accidents. Then we have got the personal, the factors which lead to the accident. The personal factors include a number of things. The lack of experience, that is the lack of knowledge about how to do that. The overconfidence, the people, both the loss of morale is also bad. At the same time, overconfidence also causes a lot of accidents on the part of the workers. This is lack of confidence. Both cause accidents. People should have a confidence level which is neither lower than the required nor higher than the required. An overconfident person does not take necessary precautions that may result in accidents. The long working hours will cause the fatigue. That again will lead to accident. Absence of proper training. That means for doing any work, a person has to have a necessary amount of training. Lacking that will act as a personal factor. Similarly, lack of sleep will act as a personal factor leading to the accident. We also seen that the morale of the person will act as a factor leading to accident. The boredom, low degree of muscular coordination increases accident proneness with the person. The emotional stability of the person will also affect the accident. The absence of mood, visual defects, these are all the personal factors that can lead to the accidents. Just now what we have discussed is the personal factors, that is the physical condition of the person. Now we'll discuss the more important thing, what a person does, that is the unsafe acts. This is one of the major causes of the accident. The how people work is also very important. The unsafe act means the people, the actions of the people that lead to accident. Some of the unsafe acts are the unsafe speed. There is an optimum speed which we have to work. Above that speed is always dangerous. The machines are to be loaded within a particular capacity. Loading the machine beyond the capacity may lead to accident. Every work needs certain safety devices and safety the guards. If you are not willing to carry the safety devices and use the safety guards, that may lead to the accident. The company might have specified a safe work procedure and operating procedure for any work. Any tendency on the part of the workers to short circuit the standard procedure, use shortcuts to make the procedure more simplified, may lead to the unsafe procedures. These are all the unsafe acts which lead to the accidents. The electricity is a very useful thing. At the same time, it also causes a number of the accidents. The electric accidents are caused due to a number of reasons, such as not providing the protective devices. Say, for example, for our homes, we use MCBs, miniature circuit breakers. So that is a protective device against overloading. But if you are not using it, or if you are not keeping it in good condition, that may lead to the accident. We need to use proper protective devices for electrical accidents. Similarly, we need to have the proper work procedures and take proper precautions for doing the work. For example, the main switch has to be switched off before doing the repair work. Some people will do, it's a small repair work, I will do it when it is live, when the current is there. So that such the actions may lead to the accident. For electrical work, people need to use the insulated, the cutting pliers, insulated screwdrivers, insulated rubber, the gloves, like that. So if the failure or inability to use the insulated things may cause the accident. Exposure to harmful substances is an important factor in the accident. The chemicals are dangerous. Exposure to the chemicals, exposure to the dangerous gases or fumes, the exposure to the chemical substances, exposure to dust, exposure to excess the vapors. These are all they may cause accident. We group it under exposure to harmful substances. Now let us come to the safety measures. What are the safety measures which we can take to prevent such accidents? One of the safety measures I grouped under the safety in workplace and the safe condition. These are all refer to the working condition of the place. A good layout is a necessary safety provision. We need to have the layout such that there is a free movement of the particles, free movement of people, free movement of the component, non-skid the floors. These are all part of the layout. Another factor is the noise level. Noise is found to be a major cause of accident because the industries make a lot of the noise. So reducing the noise level to the required decibels. That's how it is measured. the reducing the noise level within the permissible limit is a safety measures. Inflammable materials like petrol, diesel, kerosene, gas are to be very carefully handled. They should not be stored on the shop floor. They have to be carefully handled and stored away from the workplace separately, because many of the accidents take place because of the inflammable materials. Next, in the workplace, in the work condition, there should be the safeguards to the machines. We need to remember that there should be a permanent casing for all rotating parts, the flywheels, pulleys, all the rotating parts are to be properly enclosed. The people should not be able to touch the rotating part. There should be proper cover rotating part, chains, all those things have to be properly covered, the belts. And also, there should be a separation of the work area from movement area. There should be the properly fenced, properly guarded, so that the unnecessary people don't go near the machines. So these are all with respect to the safeguard to the machines. In addition to the normal machines, the boilers and pressure vessels, they are extremely dangerous machines. There is every chance of an explosion. So there the safety is to be properly checked. There should be sufficient number of safety valves and safety provisions, and they are to be kept in the perfect working condition always. Poor physical condition is to be improved. That is, physical condition has to be improved by providing the proper lighting, proper ventilation, clean air. So these are the safety measures with respect to the safe workplace and the working condition. Now let us come to the material handling. The material handling is an important issue that has to be carefully managed to prevent accidents. All hoists and cranes, the lifting, the machines are to be properly serviced and kept in good working condition always. And this handling continuously will be a cause of the fatigue to the workers. So continuous handling is to be avoided by using automatic material handling, the systems and devices. And when the people have to handle, you have to ensure the safety in handling the materials. No person should be made or allowed to lift or carry a weight that is likely to cause them physical injury, the damage. So material handling is to be carefully controlled as a preventive measure to avoid accidents. Coming to the protective devices, this is another important safety measures. We have to use the protective devices, the helmets, the gloves, aprons, the safety shoes, goggles, safety belt, whichever is required for that particular job. For each and every work, we may not need all the things, but wherever it is required, it is to be used. For example, in a construction site, the helmets are compulsory because there is every chance of a falling object from top. In a welding, we need to go for the goggles to protect the eyes against the rays. So wherever the personal protective devices are needed, they are to be used. Sometimes it may require the special clothing for a particular work. In anywhere, in any place where the sparks are likely to fly, silk clothes are always the dangerous. The cotton clothes are always the best. Similarly, for handling the chemicals and hot substances, we need to use the appropriate gloves. The apron is to be used. Against inhalation of dangerous things or dust particles, we may have to go for the mask. These are all the proper clothing which is required for a particular work. All tools are to be kept in proper places. Similarly, the cutting machines will produce a lot of chips, and none of these chips should be handled with the hand because they have got sharp edges. There should be proper way to to remove or handle the chips. Everything depends on the training of the persons. The persons involved should be properly trained to work safely. We cannot assume that the people will work on their own. The proper training towards safety is essential in any organization. Coming to the fire hazards, we will very briefly discuss the fire hazards. In the next class, we will be exclusively discussing the fire hazards, fire accidents only. This is fire hazards. All inflammable materials should be stored separately at a distance of minimum 50 feet from the shop floor. That means there should be proper provision for storing any material that is likely to catch fire or any material that is likely to explode. That is, the inflammable materials are to be carefully handled. The fire extinguishers should be compulsorily provided at suitable places of suitable grades. To prevent fire accident, no room shall be closed or bolted from outside. That is, if you bolt or close a room outside, the people may not be able to escape in case of fire. So it is very, very important that none of the doors should be kept locked from outside. So the worker should be able to open the door in case of the emergency, in case of fire. Not only the regular door, there should be provision for emergency door in case of fire breaking out. When the fire breaks out, there's a panic situation. In this panic situation, everybody tries to escape through the same door. The door gets jammed. We need additional exits to ease out the panic, ease out the crowding at one door. So there should be emergency doors, exits, which are to be opened in case of the fire. Coming to the electrical accidents. To prevent electrical accidents, we have to take a number of the provisions. The electrical insulation has to be checked periodically. Insulation gets degraded over time. So the insulation of the motors, all the equipments are to be properly checked and the proper actions are to be taken. The proper tools are to be used for the testing, the repair of the electrical equipments. All work is to be done only after switching power off. The main switch has to be off, then only the work is to be done. It is necessary to use only insulated tools and rubber gloves in case of handling the electrical things. So these are the precautions we have to take with respect to the electrical accidents. Next, in spite of doing all those things, the company has to do an internal audit, internal check of the accident proneness or possibility of the accident. That is, it has to identify the accident prone activities in the organization and take special provision, take special actions to prevent such accidents. That is, the company has to study which are the activities which cause more number of accidents, take additional precautions, additional safety measures to prevent such accidents. The good housekeeping is also part and parcel of the avoiding accident. That is, the cleanliness of the workplace, cleanliness of all the machines, keeping the tools and equipments in the required places. These are all the actions which will result in less number of the accidents. Also, wherever possible, the design itself should include the safety. For example, if you take a lift, the people are not meeting accident in the lift just because the lift will not operate until the doors are closed. So whatever switch you press, it will not move unless doors are closed. If this safety provision was not there, this would have been a very dangerous place. Similarly, in certain main switches, you will have to, for opening the switch cover, you may have to switch off the main switch. Then only you can open the cover. Even in the vehicle, you have got the same, when you drive a car, you have got the same leg for the brake as well as accelerator. That means to press the brake, you need to necessarily leave the accelerator. So wherever it's possible, the design itself should incorporate the safety. Now, let's move on to discuss the personal safety devices. This does not need much of an explanation. The shoe is a safety device that protects the leg against falling objects, against injuries. We use the helmets mainly in the construction, the sites, or in other places. We use the goggles where the welding or the place where the rays are likely to enter, or the minute particles are likely to enter into the eyes. We use the mask to protect against dust, against the infections. We use gloves to handle hot objects, to handle the chemicals. We use earplugs. If the noise cannot be reduced at the source of noise, at least at the receiver level, we can reduce the intensity of the noise received by means of the earplugs. So these are some of the devices. The goggle is a protective device for the eyes. The helmet is a protective device in two-wheeler driving, in the construction sites, wherever the objects are likely to fall down. The gloves are protective devices for chemicals and hot objects. The safety shoes are the protective devices because it is the feet that is more likely to be injured when we move around. The apron for protecting the body. The safety belt in the driving or in other places where the people move along with machine. The mask to protect against the inhaling of the tiny particles or sometimes even bacteria. The earplugs to protect against excessive the noise. Now, towards the end, we'll be discussing the role of different people in the organization with respect to the safety. What is that a safety officer or a safety engineer has to do? As per the Factory Act, when the number of employees go beyond a particular limit, the company need to necessarily employ a safety officer, and his duties and regulations are his duties, and the work is specified by the government, not by the organization. So the safety officer is required in a bigger industries. So what does he do? The safety engineer has to watch the physical conditions and suggest any modifications whenever it's required. He has to assist the person in charge in all safety activities. He keeps in touch with other safety engineers in other organizations so that he can incorporate the better safety practices in his organization. He's in touch with the latest. Safety is also a dynamic concept. It changes more and more. Better, safer devices are coming into the market. That the latest knowledge with respect to the safety is required for reducing the accidents. He will organize the safety committee meetings regularly and do the follow-up work. Recommend better safety practices to the management to improve the safety in the organization. Evolve better safety, the precautions. Develop the safety guards which are better for the new machinery. Whenever accident occurs, investigate the causes of the accidents so that in future such accidents can be avoided. Look into the accident proneness of the work area, how accident prone the work is. Arrange for the screening of the safety films, slides, etc. to motivate the safety within the organization. Display public posters and public displays. All those things, they motivate the workers to work more safely. It is not the knowledge that promotes safety. It is the attitude of the workers that promote the safety. Role of the supervisor is an effective link between the management and the workers. So he has got an important role in preventing the accident. So he need to look into all the unsafe, the physical conditions within the organization and suggest changes, modifications to improve the physical conditions to reduce accidents. The workers sometimes may not be using the appropriate safety devices, may not be working safely. So he has to be in a constant touch with the workers to ensure that the workers are using all the safety devices which are prescribed for that particular the work. And he should interact with all people concerned, interact with the workers with respect to their role as far as safety is concerned, with respect to the safety engineers for implementing the best safety procedures in the organization. In some of the organizations, there will be a safety committee. So this committee is entrusted with the task of observing the safety within the organization. This committee is set up to monitor and govern the safety activities more effectively. It will consist of various the members drawn from different departments in the organization. In addition to the people within the organization, the outside people who are experts in the safety may also be employed, because the people may not be having the appropriate information. Outside people may be better experts in safety. They are also made part of the safety committee, so that the committee has got more information, more the deliberations to arrive at better solutions to the safety issues. The committee meets regularly and discuss the safety issues as per an agenda. It makes the recommendations and solutions with respect to the safety in the organization, which the company has to implement. Well, friends, coming to the end, the functional safety life cycle. The safety is not a one-time process. Safety is a continuous process. The company needs make an audit. It has to make a risk and hazard assessment within the organization. That means what are the activities prone to accident, what are less prone to accident, what are the risks, what are the hazards within the organization. Then have a specification for safety. That is, the functional requirements for safety is identified. Then make a design for safety. That is, the functional requirement are to be satisfied by making proper safety design procedure. Then implement it and validate it, the safety procedure. Maintain the safety system and improve the safety system. It's a cyclic process. It starts from here, comes here, and then again reassess the risk after the modifications, make further the changes. This is the safety life cycle, which sees safety as a continuous activity. So improving safety is a non-stop activity. Continuously monitoring, continuously the improving is part of the maintaining safety within the organization. Well, friends, that's about the today's class. We discussed these important issues with respect to the safety. We discussed what is safety and what is the accident. Then we classified the accidents, the effect of the accident, direct losses, indirect losses, what will happen to the employer, employee with respect to the accident. Then we have seen the common safety, the common causes that lead to accident. And then we have seen what are the safety measures which we can take to improve safety within the organization. And finally, we have seen the role of the safety engineer, the role of supervisor, and role of the safety committee in promoting safety in the organization. Thank you.